Welcome to another edition of Voice of Tomorrow. This is a program specifically made for tertiary students to bring their voices up on public issues, and that is basically on public speaking. My name is Rosemary Oseikofo, and today they are going to talk about social media and its effect on our mental health. I can't wait to listen to a whole lot of things that they are bringing on board. I hope you are also ready for us to bring you a whole lot of things. Stay tuned and watch out for more.
Hello, I am Emmanuel Kofi APJ, a final year law student at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. And today, I'll be giving a captivating speech on whether social media companies should be held responsible for depression. Vote for me using my code VOT15. Thank you. I have a confession to make. I cannot go 15 minutes without scrolling on my phone. And I know I am not alone. I remember I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this post. It said, "Fake it till you make it. Live the life you want to be in the future. Pretend that is who you are now." Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Social media is the mirror, not the monster. We have decided to put the blame on social media for the depression and mental health crisis going on amongst the youth. But I disagree. You see, social media is a tool. It depends on the user and what you do with it. Let us look at this example. A car or a hammer. When you are driving and you go by all the road safety regulations, I do not think you get into an accident. But if you overspeed, if you go 30 in a 50 zone and you kill school children, do we blame the car manufacturer? No. See, we are failing to recognize the main problems that are causing this social depression, this depression amongst the youth. High cost of living, economic pressures, and a very tough and overly competitive educational system. These are the real causes of depression and anxiety, and not social media. We cannot blame Meta. We cannot blame TikTok for the depression that is going on. After all, TikTok has served as a means to ease down the mental burdens on people. So why do we blame them? We should rather focus on fixing the problems that we are facing in society. We should focus on fixing our educational system, making it more flexible and easy for people to adapt. We should focus on fixing economic pressures, fixing the high cost of living in our societies. When we are able to do that, we'll be able to fix or help solve the mental health crisis ongoing. We should rather help, we should get counselors for schools. We should be able to get counselors for various faculties, various universities and schools and across the globe and in our country. When we do that, we would reduce depression. We should stop fixing the blame on social media. Social media has got nothing to do with the problems you are facing. It has got nothing to do with the mental health crisis. It is just a mirror, not the monster. We have found an easy blame, an easy victim to blame, that is social media. But we should not end there. We should rather find the main causes, which I have listed earlier, as economic problems, high cost of living, and other societal pressures. If we are able to do that, these kinds of depression will vanish into the thin air, and social media will be able to be used for its purpose, the right way that is supposed to be used. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Emmanuel Kofi APJ with the code VOT15, and I reiterate that social media is just the mirror and not the monster. It is just a reflection of the current problems in our society and not the cause of the problems. Thank you.
Negative impact and then a positive impact. You cited all of them, which is a plus. And then I like the fact that you took time. I mean, the pace at which you presented your information was good. Was good. I mean, you had a calm spirit on stage, be able to deliver well. One thing you have to know is that when you are stressing some words, keywords, it has to come up with some energy. Okay, that is where you were missing. But apart from that, I think you were more engaging. You were really more engaging on stage, and then the grammar and language too was also awesome. So thank you very much for today,
Mr. PG. Yeah, you did so well. I like the way you your examples, and just like my colleague said, when you are stressing on something, you put in a little energy so that we can feel it. Without that, you did so well. You engaged the audience, and that's so well. Thank you very much.
I think I also have the same comment. So I like the way you engaged us, actually. I'm sure if there were to be other audience here today, will appreciate that. But the energy, yeah, I think you need to work on your energy. And your movement on stage too, it was okay. It wasn't too much. It was just appropriate. So thank you. Thank you for your delivery today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel Tete Nawete, and I come to you once again to vote for me at VOT 18. Today's topic is: should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My lovely audience. Today's topic is a very delicate yet controversial and unique one. Let's talk about how or whether or not social media companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis. According to statistics, over the past 10 years, there has been a big rise of depression, anxiety, frustration, and self-harm, especially among young people. Ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, social media has become part of our lives. Now, social media platforms such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, or what is called Twitter, are designed in such a way that viewers become hooked. We keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling while they are making profits. Social media platform in this instance can be a deadly thing to young people, especially creating things like unhealthy comparison, low self-esteem, and what have you. Here in Ghana, a few years ago, we experienced a tragedy. Our very own gospel musician, Jacob Ajula, took his own life, leaving behind a suicidal note, indicating that he actually did that because he felt he wasn't good enough. A clear evidence of low self-esteem and unhealthy comparison. Nobody is saying that social media is not good. In fact, social media is doing a great job. Because but for social media, people like me wouldn't have heard of this great opportunity like the Voice of Tomorrow. However, social media creating things like unhealthy comparison and low self-esteem brings about a lot of mental health issues. Because lawsuits have been raised countless times against social media platforms such as Meta and Facebook, making it so clear that social media companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis. Therefore, I invite all and sundry to join hands with me as we advocate that indeed social media platforms should be held accountable for mental health crisis. I'm very grateful.
I like the fact that you used statistics to back your arguments, and that is very amazing. I like the voice too. I like the way you came up with examples, realistic examples to back your arguments. Please keep it up. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gabriel, so that was a nice delivery. You were very audible and eloquent. That's good. Your content too, yeah, I mean, it can be argued because someone came with a different view, and I think you are against social media. So I think it's a different view, it's a different way to see the whole thing that we are discussing. And your grammar too was okay. It was okay. It was okay for me. So I think you did well.
Mr. Gabriel. You sounded too emotional to me. I don't know how it happened, but That is how I see it. So you had a good start, okay, from how you started the whole presentation. Look amazing to me, okay. The energy level was okay, and you gave us a good examples. I mean, it was very clear examples, okay. And I attest to the fact that you were more engaging, okay. You were more engaging on the stage, and we could understand whatever you were presenting out, okay. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kanton Jamila Ahmed, a graduate of the University of Cape Coast, and today I'll be presenting on should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis. Do well to vote for me. I am VOT number 12. Thank you. Imagine waking up in the morning and even before you utter a word to another individual, you're already questioning yourself with why? Because you woke up, checked your phone, checked your social media, and saw somebody more prettier than you, somebody more successful than you, somebody more richer than you, and then you tend to question your self-worth and then ask yourself, why not me? And then you suddenly start spiraling downwards into depression, into anxiety, into a feeling of never being enough. Unfortunately, this has become the norm of today. The impact that social media has had on a lot of us has grown way beyond anyone's expectations, and research has shown that the rate of anxiety and depression has doubled since the use of smartphones and social media. So that leads us to asking this question: should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? The answer is yes, and here is why. Now, the social media platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram are not neutral. The content that they put out there is designed to keep us hooked. The algorithm pushes a particular type of content that triggers strong emotions like fear, like anger, like anxiety, like depression, like jealousy, like envy. And somebody may ask, why do they do this? The reason is because the more they put this content out there, this is the type of content that gets us glued to our phones. This is the type of content that keeps us hooked. So the more attention that we pay to this content, or the more time that we spend on these apps, that's the more profits they make from it, because they basically make their profits from the more time that we get to spend on the apps. So the more time we spend interacting with content, that's the more money they make from it. So regardless whether the content is harmful or not, so long as it pushes for more engagement from its users, they put it out there. Now, there was an example where people had to take part in TikTok challenges like the fire challenge. So people get to pour flammable liquids on themselves and then set it up. One may ask, who put this content out there? It was the social media companies. Why would they do that at the expense of their users? That is because the more you interact with it, the more money they make from it. So I'm not trying to say that social media is bad. Absolutely not. It's been a very powerful tool that has helped to connect a lot of us together, and even helped to raise awareness on very pertinent issues like mental health itself. But as a very powerful tool that it is very important that there are some form of regulations as to what type of content its users are exposed to. So social media companies be held accountable for the mental health crisis? Absolutely yes, but only as a way to protect the masses or the users. Thank you very much. Jamila.
So that was a nice delivery actually. I like the language and the grammar. It was okay. It was fine. You were very fluent. And the delivery style you chose to was very okay. And I like the way your movement on stage too was fine. It wasn't too out of order. It was okay. But I think you have to put in much more energy. That's what I think. Because your starting wasn't heavy enough for me. Like it came in flat and you were even more audible than you started. But I think your starting should draw a lot of attention to you. Yes. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yes. But basically you did well.
Okay, so I would also say that I enjoyed your presentation. The fact that you did a thorough research and then you supported it with evidence-based claims. And then however, with all that, I would advise that, I don't know if I told you this last week, when you are speaking, you take your time. Yes. Did I say this last week? Yeah, you take your time. You present so well. You are a very good presenter. But I would advise that you take your time when you are presenting, okay? Because at a point, that was what I felt, that you were a bit choking. Yeah, so you take your time and then you let it flow, okay? You are doing so well. And the energy too. Next week, bring it, okay? All right, thank you.
Hi, Jamila. So far, I am impressed. Okay, with your presentation, when I'm comparing what you did today as to what you did last week, you have actually improved very well. Okay, the way you were pronouncing your words, okay, it was on point. Even though you were in a fast pace, as the other judge was saying. And so, to me, what you've done is very impactful, okay? And you were more like engaging, okay? So the delivery was on point, and keep it up, please. You get there.
Hello everyone, I'm David Elninson from Gimpa Campus, VOT7. Today's topic is going to be about whether social media companies should be held liable for mental health challenges. Thank you. Kindly vote for me on VOT7. Social media plays a very good role in today's society. It helps us to connect with other people, learn, and even helps us laugh. But it has its negative effects. It creates inferiority complex. I am a victim of those inferiority complexes that social media creates. Because sometimes, let's say an app like TikTok, sometimes you'll be scrolling through TikTok, just going about your day, trying to while away time. Then you see that someone your age mate is having like 2 houses and 2 cars, and you don't have anything. You don't even have a life to begin with. You are just always going back to school and coming back. This affects most people in my generation, even older people. You start to feel like, why are you not like this person? Why are you not like that person? But we can't blame these social media companies wholly. We also have to blame ourselves. So social media companies should not take accountable, like full accountable of everything. They just have to take part of the accountability, because we can also take the accountability by managing what we watch, where we scroll through. We can also take this accountability that instead of using most of our time on the social media platforms, we just use it to walk around, make new friends, and make networks. So I believe that social media companies should not take the full accountability, but should also take part of the accountability. And if they are able to make apps that will create a safe space for us, will be very good. I see that lately TikTok does those things where when you watch a video and you feel like you're not comfortable, you can send your feedback. Oh, you're not interested in this kind of videos. This is a big step that they are also making to make sure that we are comfortable with what we see. Thank you.
Chumai Manuela Zaneto is my name. I am a final year product of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GEMPA, and I will be talking about the topic, should social media companies be held accountable for the mental health crisis? My code is VOT17 for the Voice of Tomorrow. Kindly vote for me. Thank you. Should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? And I would like to talk about the New York City C1s to give a more realistic approach. In February 2024 and in October 2025, the New York City studied something. What did they study? Their students were not focusing in class. There was chronic absenteeism. Their students were also deprived of sleep. And that is not good as far as mental health is concerned. I would also use myself as an example. In cases where I'm supposed to study and to scroll on TikTok, sometimes I scroll on TikTok. Have I made a good option? Did I make a good decision? And at the end of the day, have I been productive? The answer is no. That is why we cannot blame or totally blame the social media companies for our own choice or our own agency, which is not good. What are the social media companies supposed to do in order to ensure that the young people are not deprived of their own mental health? They can design and implement platforms and data analysis that will ensure that these young people focus and stop on endless scrolling on TikTok, which is not a good thing to do. I would like to talk about the fact that the social media companies will not come to your homes to tell you to scroll on TikTok. You have your own choice. You have your agency to make that choice. And so you cannot totally blame, because these people are even offering jobs for the youth. For example, the TikTokers and the YouTubers, they earn income through streaming and also through their TikTok videos, which is a right thing. I would like to say that before we remove the speck in others' eyes, we should consider removing ours first. That is, the choice or the option stands on you. Will you scroll on TikTok? Will your day be productive? And also, the data health usage and people and parents should also ensure that they guide these young people, especially from the ages below 18 years, because it is said that people that are above 18 years have the charge to take care of their own mental health, and they can handle certain things. So if the parents whose words are below the ages of 18 years are being focused and they take care of these children, I think that we will have better health instead of a poor mental health. I would also like to leave the house with, at the end of the day, it is your own mental health. Will you let it go because of social media, or will you take care of it? Are you going to scroll on TikTok, or are you going to sleep for 8 hours or 7 hours? The choice is up to you. Thank you.
What's good, guys? It's your girl Hanson Christopher Yayora Ama, contestant number VOT13. Today we are going to be talking about, should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? I'm going to dive into what exactly it's all about and the debate, what my motion is for. And please stay tuned, stick to the channel, and I love you guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's play a quick game. Raise your hand if you've ever opened TikTok or Instagram just for 5 minutes and suddenly it's 2 hours later. Now imagine this. Every scroll, every like, and every comment you post, there's a team of tech experts behind the screen, studying your habits, tweaking the algorithms to keep you hooked. Sounds harmless, right? Until that same screen starts whispering, you are not good enough, you are not pretty enough, you are not successful enough. That's where the mental health crisis begins. Studies show skyrocketing rates of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem among the youth. And social media isn't just part of the story, it's the lead character. So here's the big question. Should social media companies be held accountable? My answer, absolutely yes. Why? Because these platforms are engineered to be addictive. They profit from our attention even when they know that same attention harms us. If a company not only sells a product that damages people's health, shouldn't that company be held accountable? Cigarette companies were held accountable for lung cancer. Fast food companies were called out for obesity. So why should tech giants get a free pass when their platforms triggers mental breakdown? Now don't get me wrong, social media isn't all that bad. It educates, entertains, and connects, but power comes with responsibility. These platforms have massive data showing what content harms users, yet they should profit over protection. If a company not only sells a product that damages people's health, shouldn't that company be held accountable? Imagine this. What if they invested more into digital well-being tools, limited harmful content, or redesigned algorithms to promote mental health, not misery? Because at the end of the day, the goal shouldn't make us scroll endlessly. It should rather make us feel seen, valued, and human. So yes, let's enjoy our memes, our dances, and our trends. But let's demand that social media companies step up, take responsibility, and ensure that they put people's minds before their pockets. Thank you.
That was a nice delivery, actually. And I like the entry and the energy you started with. And I think the energy you started with is the same thing you ended with, which is a good thing. Your delivery was smooth, and the content was also interesting. I like it. And I like your confidence. So you are the type of person that even if you are lying to someone, you are lying with confidence. So you can easily convince the person, which is actually good. I commend you for that. And your movement on stage was very okay, not out of order, very okay. I like that. One grammatical error, pronunciation, algorithm. You pronounce it in another way, Yes. So by and all, I think you've done well. That's good.
All right, Miss Yaira, thank you again for your presentation today. In fact, you've given us a clear presentation, okay, right from the onset, how you started it. Okay, and I want to commend you about your stage manners. Okay, your your eyes, hand gestures, everything was on point. I mean, your movement goes along with your presentation. Okay, and then you sort of more engaging with the audience. Okay, and that is a plus for you. As for your pronunciation, top notch. Thank you very much, and keep it up. Okay, thank you.
Imagine your friend needs a pen in the examination hall. You give her one. After the exam's result comes and she fails, and she blames you for her failure. My name is Abubi Mary Ayaba, a level 300 law student of GIMPA. Today, I am speaking to you on the topic, should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? Kindly vote for me using the code VOT8. Thank you. Good afternoon, dear judges. We live in a world where a single post can reach millions within seconds. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook have become digital playgrounds. They not only shape our views, they give us a platform to launch businesses. These social media platforms make our voices heard. They not only influence our lifestyles, they give us a platform to be people. Today, I ask myself, are they, the social media companies, responsible for the growing mental health crisis? I would say no, for several reasons. Social media is a tool, and a tool reflects the intent of the user. And if the user uses the tool in a way that brings adverse effect, the tool is not to be blamed. A hammer is a tool. It is used to build houses, but it can be used to crack a head open and even break windows. Do we blame the hammer for this, or we blame the one that yields the hammer? I do not believe that mental health crisis began with social media, because it began in homes, schools, workplaces where we bully and talk down on people. Anxiety, depression, loneliness, low self-esteem existed long before Mark Zuckerberg thought about coding Facebook. All these things are not a result of these social media companies. We can agree to the fact that these companies may have amplified these mental health crises, but how? They just give us a platform to know that, okay, if I do this and that, I may be depressed, and wow, isn't it wonderful? If we stand here and we say that we should crucify the social media companies for increasing mental health crisis, when we have established the fact that they are not the cause, because these mental health crises existed way before social media. When we do this to these companies, we not only take away their financial benefits, but we also take away the platform where the youth are realizing who they are. They are empowering themselves, and a youth that is bringing change to society. Social media is not the problem here, but we are. Social media is a mere mirror. These social media companies are not therapists. No matter what they do, they cannot take away your view of a post. They cannot help you with how you perceive yourself because so and so has bought a car. Neither can they exclude another person from exercising their rights because you are intimidated by it. Social media is a mirror. just a mirror. And if you look close enough, you may see yourself. Everything that you want to avoid, your insecurities, your doubts, and your negative mindset. Is it the fault of these social media companies that you have these mental health crises? No, it is your own doing. We do not believe that these social media companies should be held accountable for your mental health crisis, because we believe that other stakeholders can be held accountable. Example, your own parents. Parents should look that children are regulated when they use social media. We cannot leave that to the social media companies. I do agree with the fact that they can do so many things to curb the increasing nature of mental health crisis, like censoring certain posts and even removing them without being reported. However, the truth still remains that these social media companies cannot, and not in any world will be able to, dictate to you how you feel about a particular post or not. We are in 2025. Social media is a tool that is not only connecting us to everybody around the world. Social media is ensuring that the society is in conformity. If I stand here and I argue to the contrary and tell you that these social media companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis, then I become a hypocrite, because the truth still remains that they are not the originators of it. We are. And you solve a problem from the root cause, not from the top. And the root cause is you and I, the users of social media. So we can now start using social media for better things. We already use them for better things. You may see this video of me on Instagram and then you get to know me. That is fine. That is your use of social media for a better thing. Another person can use social media to watch naked girls sometimes. Everything else, gambling, betting. But you do realize that it is a choice. I can sit here and watch a TED talk that would be educative. Another person will sit and watch a gossip session. The truth still remains that we are the problem and not these social media companies. Therefore, I cannot agree that these companies should be held accountable for our mental health. It is absurd to say that. Like, I give a friend a pen to write exams, she fails, and then I am at fault. I made her fail. Why? Because I gave her a pen. That is what we mean if we want to say that these companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis that we ourselves, it originates from. Thank you.
Hello there. My name is Muni Ronash Ranasara, a Bachelor of Arts of Public Relations Management at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. Today's topic is whether social media companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis. Join me for a fruitful discussion. Kindly support me by voting using VOT5. Thank you. Good day, everyone. Have you ever opened your TikTok with the intention of spending 5 minutes and then you end up spending more than hours on it? Well, that is the power of social media. Beyond the education and the entertainment, it has a darker side. Today's presentation, we are discussing whether social media companies should be held responsible for mental health crisis. To begin with, according to research by Facebook, it shows that lack of body insecurity by the youth is being promoted by Instagram, and also, according to the University of Pennsylvania, lesser time spent on social media leads to depression and anxiety. Well, you can see how social media actually determine our mood in our environmental setting. Firstly, social media actually affects inferiority complex. Now, let's look at this scenario. Most of the time we see our university students, which I am one, we try to dress and look like our social media influencers. What happened to being yourself? What happens to being me instead of modeling these people? That's when you see that students go the extra mile to spend money that they don't actually have to buy this luxury which we call soft life, for the expensive vacation, the wigs, the lashes, the everything, just to fit into this social media life. We shouldn't have been the same. And social media actually promote this by making sure that algorithm push this soft life we always dream of on our FYP. So we are motivated to behave like our social media celebrities and influencers. Moving forward,
Who have ever experienced cyberbullying? Well, I think I've been a victim on my class WhatsApp platform, but it's all in the past. Let me take you through this. Sometimes on TikTok or X or Facebook, you post something and then you see that people are actually attacking you with hateful comments. They harass you and insult you. And we mostly see this on our comment sections. And a typical example is Shatawale and Phil Schwarzenegger. When they post something controversial, what happened? We all try our best, most of us try our best to make them look like what they are saying doesn't actually make sense. Sometimes it causes emotional distress and leads to withdrawal. Most of the time, we take down contents because we feel like we have been under so much attack. Also, social media has led to invasion of privacy. We mostly see people, videos, and pictures being leaked on social media without their consent. These victims go through traumatic stress because imagine me having a night, a peaceful rest, then I come online and see that a video of mine which I thought was a secret or couldn't have been out there is out there, then everybody is watching and then everybody is making any comment they like. It's actually going to harm me emotionally, considering the fact that I am an emotional being. And anybody out there, if you get this experience, you are going to be emotionally distressed. In conclusion, in as much as social media is meant to educate us, it's meant to entertain us, if it is not checked, it's going to be detrimental to our mental health. Remember, health is not complete without mental well-being. So regardless of anything you do on social media companies should be held accountable for not allowing accountability and transparency in everything that goes on. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Rabiat Al Hassan, a student of UPSA. I am here today to talk to you on the topic, should social media companies be held accountable for the health crisis of young people? Stay tuned. Thank you very much. I didn't say that one. Okay, so I should start.
No, I just started.
Okay, so vote for me using the contestant number VOT6. Thank you very much. Imagine a teenager at 2 a.m. scrolling through pictures of perfect lives. Each like takes away their self-esteem. Each swipe becomes a measure of their worth. They wake up every morning not refreshed but broken, lost in a digital world that promised to connect us but delivered comparison. Today, I stand in front of you to ask, should social media companies be held accountable for the mental health they are helping to create? My answer is a sounding yes, because social media was meant to connect us, but instead they are controlling us. Studies shows that the heavy use of social media is linked to anxiety, depression, and loneliness, especially among young people. This is because they wake up every morning thinking about those staged life placed on those platforms. They question themselves, which takes their smiles away. Sometimes it even leads to them taking their own lives. This is becoming so serious that some governments are even trying to create measures to target this kind of algorithms. In 2023, the US Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, issued a public health on social media and mental health. And in June 2024, he urged Congress to require a warning label on social media, similar to the ones on cigarettes. Some countries are even pushing laws to regulate and target people, to regulate and target children. So, as I stand here today, I will say it is time for accountability. It is time to prioritize people over profit,
because behind every screen there is a human being, and behind every light there is a mind that matters. Thank you very much.
Well done, actually. I have some things to commend you for, and I have some things that I would like you to pay much more attention to. I actually like the research that you took your time to do. That's actually good. And the pace you chose, whether good or bad, I like the fact that you stuck to it. How you started, that's the same way you went through till the end. You were calm, and I would say composed, and that's okay. Yes, I think you should have done more practice, or let's say before you come again and present to us, I think you should practice more so that you own what you are saying. So that you know that when I move from here, this is what I have to say. Because at a point you look choked and stuck. Yes. So that's all that I have to talk about.
Rabiatu, I have a few comments here. Okay. You were talking about something, and I needed to get the examples, okay, or realistic example from your argument. Okay, the only thing you told us was a cigarette putting on social media and then its effect on people. Now, you were also citing example of algorithm, right? Okay, I don't know about if you can tell us a few more examples of that. Yes, I know that, but can you give us a typical example? Okay, so that is the only challenge that I had, because it has to be more convincing. It's an argument. It has to be very strong argument. Okay, because some of your other colleagues came out with strong points. Okay, so next time try and then think about it. And then regarding your pronunciation, it's okay, but you need to improve more. Okay, in the next next session. Okay, and then in relation to the audience engagement. Okay, so try and connect more with the audience anytime you come on stage and you're talking. Okay, thank you.
Good day. I am Rashida Mohammed, a level 300 accounting student from EPS2, and today I'll be speaking on the topic, should social media companies be held accountable for mental health? Vote for me, VOT21. Thank you. Hello, I am Rashida Mohammed, and today I am not just here to speak. I am here to spark a conversation about the influence of social media on mental health. Let's picture this. A teenage girl sits in her bed at midnight, eyes glowing to the blue light of her screen. Her post got 498 likes yesterday, but tonight it's only got 15. With every refresh, her confidence faded. Because behind every heart emoji, every hashtag, she started to believe her worth depended on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not fiction. This is a silent heartbeat of our generation, a world where mental health is treated for digital validation. In the center of it all, social media giants, billion-dollar corporations, engineering addiction, exploiting our emotions, and shaping how we see ourselves. This is not a strategy. This is not an accident. This is a strategy, because behind these apps are an army of behavioral scientists, data analysts, and advertisers that do not sit to ask the question, is this healthy? But rather, how long can we keep them here? And the result? A generation full of comparison, perfection, and anxiety. We begin to compare our behind the scenes to someone highlight reels. We compare followers to friends. We scroll through smiles that are staged and filters that lie, perfect lifestyles that aren't.
And when young people begin to think less of themselves because of what they see online, it is not a user problem. It's a company design flaw, and someone must answer for that. Accountability doesn't mean distraction. It means responsibility. It means demanding transparency in algorithm, protecting our children from harmful content, and stopping profits from being put above people. Because no company has the power to determine an entire generation's self-worth. So the next time you double tap on that photo or refresh that feed, remember that the price of a like shouldn't be a person's peace of mind. And until social media companies understand this, we'll keep talking and standing and demanding accountability. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I actually like the content, but I think you should be more audible, because even your voice, the sound of your voice, the tone alone can draw people to listen to you, even if what you are saying doesn't make sense. So I think you should pay attention to your voice. You should be more audible. And I think you should pay attention to your pronunciations. Yes, because there are a few words that you didn't pronounce well, I think. I don't know what my other judges would think. So, yeah, but besides that, I like the content of your presentation.
From my perspective, I like how you started your presentation. Even though your tone was a bit low, I like the way you started it, your research and all that. However, I would advise that you sometimes bring realistic scenarios, okay? Yeah, like practical example. Yeah, so that your audience can also put themselves in your presentation or your content. Okay, so you engage them when you are presenting. That is when you bring realistic scenarios, examples, and all that. Do you understand? Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so from my side, I am looking at more of energy, okay, in support of what my other colleague is saying. Okay, this is an argument, okay. So I was expecting more of that kind of energy, and then citing good examples to support your argument, because most of your colleagues have come up with so many positive and negative aspects of the argument, which is more convincing. So I was expecting that from your side. Okay. Well, you did well. You were consistent right from the onset to the end of your presentation. Okay. And you had that calm spirit on stage. Okay. That is awesome. And thank you very much. Your pronunciation was on point and you had a good delivery. Okay. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie Free, a level 200 student at GamePack. Today I'm going to be talking about whether or not social media companies should be held accountable for mental health crisis. Kindly vote for me at VOT2. Thank you so much. Let me tell you, in 2021, a research leaked out which mentioned that a group of teenagers began to feel less of themselves after joining social media, while another team also felt more encouraged and found more community on social media. How is this possible? If on social media, I begin to compare myself with someone like Kim Kardashian or someone like Fela McAfee, I will not exactly be encouraged about myself. I will feel bad about myself because I will begin to compare myself to her, ask myself why I cannot look more like her, why I cannot look more like this and another person, and I will not feel encouraged. But if I follow people who post more motivation, I will begin to be empowered to face life by myself. This and more is a reason why social media does not promote insecurity or loneliness. More so, in COVID era, you were at home, I believe. I was also at home. Churches were on lockdown. People were not allowed to go out. Everyone was captured in their homes. But how did we all come around? We were able to do this all with the help of social media. Social media was our only means of community. That was where everyone came together. That was where businesses were run. That was where schools and students were taught and studied stuff. Now, how do we call this the villain? Moreover, social media does not promote negativity in any way. If you know giggle, I believe it means garbage in, garbage out. It's taught in IT, which I learned in law in tech, by the way. It means garbage in, garbage out. And this means what you put into the algorithm is what comes to you. Now, social media works in a way that if I put something in, they would find things around that space and bring it back to me. So if I put negativity, everyone around me, all the people I follow, all the people that see me would receive negativity. But if I put in positivity, put in all the energy and all enthusiasm and empathy on social media, that is what I will receive back. I would receive the love and the energy, and people around me will also receive the same energy. Now, before we put social media companies to trial, we should ask ourselves this question, that if a fire is burning, do we blame the fire for burning, or do we blame ourselves for playing with the fire? My name is Elsie Free, and if you see me around, call me Esme so I know you are paying attention. Thank you.
My name is Berma Boaje. I'm with the University of Professional Studies, Accra. I'm a final year student offering accounting and finance. I'm also the voice of tomorrow. And my topic for today is, should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? Can you vote for me with the nominee code VOT3? Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, judges. It's a beautiful afternoon, and thank you all for showing up today. So, my name is Berma Boaje. I am a student of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, offering accounting and finance, and I'm with Voice of Tomorrow with the tag VOT3. Now, my topic for today is, should social media companies be held accountable for mental health crisis? And this is particularly among the youth. Well, let's go back in history. Social media has really evolved from time to time. The first ever social media came up from Friendster, then they came up from Biz Defender. Social media has evolved from time to time. And I'm sure many of you seated over here have mobile phones, and many of you go on social media one way or the other. I mean, many of you get all your answers from social media, whether it's for classwork, whether it's for health. I mean, so many things you guys use social media for. And we want to tackle on, is this the reason why social media is causing mental health crisis? Now, there was a case in the United States of America. And the background story behind the case was that for some time now, the United States have realized that many of their young people, those in high school, those in the universities, they have been going through a lot of social media crisis, and particularly it's because of social media. I won't personally blame social media because, number one, social media is doing what they have to do. Whatever news is coming, they have to post it over there. So let them do their job. Even though sometimes the news is being persuaded or perverse in such a way that they want to suit or they want to target a particular group of people, but most of the time they post what they have to post. Even though sometimes they want to add their own things to it, or they want to, in quotes, lie to it, but they have to post it. So for you receiving it on the other end, it depends on how you receive it. What is mental health, first of all? Mental health is the state of complete emotional, social, and psychological well-being, which affects how you think, how you act, and how you behave. So let's look at that. How you think, how you act, and how you behave. Now, those three elements come from your mind. So first of all, when you go on social media, let's say you go on WhatsApp, you go on Facebook, you go on YouTube. Now, you see an information out there, then first of all, it targets your mind first. I also want to link some scriptures to it, to all my Bible scholars out here. I know I have some Bible scholars out here, so be ready to answer some questions. So I want to link this thing as well to the Bible. So you go on social media, then first of all, the thing starts getting to your mind. Now, the Bible says, the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So first of all, thinks in his heart. So it starts with the mind. So you go on social media, let's say you saw the news of, let's say Charlie Kirk has been shot. Now, you knew Charlie Kirk when you were growing up, maybe when you were growing up, your dad used to talk about him, your mom used to talk about him. Now, I've seen them post that he has been shot and now he's dead. Now, you're all over the place. Well, first of all, you should be all over the place, first of all, because, I mean, you have to take care of yourself personally. It's your responsibility to take care of your personal health. So you go on the internet to see a news like that. Now, first of all, you have seen it. Now, it goes straight to your mind. Now, when it goes straight to your mind, what do you start thinking about? Now, you start thinking of death consciousness. Now, who is going to be the next public speaker who is going to be shot? Who is going to be the next activist who is going to be shot? Now, your mind is just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then it starts going to your heart. And the Bible also says that out of the Bible says that out of the we should protect our hearts for with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. So your heart also has to be protected. So you allow things from your mind to go to your heart. Now this is where the issue comes in, where crisis comes in. Social media crisis. Social media crisis is basically a situation of extreme emotional distress whereby you are not yourself. So you used to be yourself on the social media, on the mental health side. Now crises have come. You have heard news of Charlie Kirk. Now it comes to add up to it. Once it comes to add up to it, now your mind is at stake. Now you allow those thoughts to come into your heart. When you allow those thoughts to come into your heart, now you start thinking of so many different things. Now I would say that it's on your part to deal with it the right way. How you want to deal with it? Some of you might want to go to therapy. That's fine. Some of you want to go for advice from other people. Some of you want to go for so many other ways. But I don't really recommend you going to social media for every other thing, because we live in a generation where people are depressed. Instead of them to look for ways to be undepressed, they rather go and look for ways to be more depressed. So they go on the internet, they search what to do when I'm depressed. Then they're Googling. By the time I realize, they even end up being more depressed. And that's not the solution to it. So to deal with this, for my part, I would just say that to deal with this thing, you have to guard your heart. You have to first of all fortify your mind. You get information like that. First of all, fortify your mind. You don't allow it to go straight into your heart like that. You have to take in the right measures, take in the right steps, able to fortify your mind and your heart. Or else this crisis is just going to it's just going to come on you over and over and over again. I mean, it's up to you to deal with it. So, my take on this topic is that it depends on you, the receiver. You, the person receiving the news, what are you going to do about it? If someone has passed on, if someone has been shot, if maybe this building has collapsed, what are you going to do about it? So you just have to take your time, fortify your mind, guard your heart, so that when such issues arise, you know how to deal with it. This is the best way you can deal with this is the best way you can deal with mental health crisis. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Berima, I just add a few comments to what my colleague just said. I like the way you presented. I like the voice too. But I would advise that next time, just as he said, you have an audience that you are presenting to. We have Christians, we have other religions and all that. Okay, so I would advise that you can make your points. You can even state what you said in the Bible without bringing any quotations or scriptures. Or do you understand? Yes. So in all that, you did so well. And like he said, please next time use realistic examples. Bring it home. Here we have a lot of issues with these things. How the social media is affecting mentally, like it's affecting people mentally. Or if it's not affecting them, you state it so that we know here, by not going away, far away. Bring it home.
Hello, Berima. Okay, so from my side, I would say that I'm looking at two things here. Okay, the either it's a positive or negative is a choice, right? And it depends on the user, as you said. Okay, so for instance, you cited an example, and then you base on your example through the Bible. Okay, I wouldn't argue that. I think it's a laudable argument. Okay, I don't know that of my colleagues, but I think to me it's good. If somebody want to make any reference, the Bible is something that you can justify. Okay, so even if you've quoted something to buttress your point, to me it's ideal. Okay, now the research that you did, from the look of things, the research that you did, as my colleague said, it has to be within the jurisdiction that where you get the information. Okay, so but when you go beyond that, it's kind of you don't get so much information to support your argument here. Okay, and looking at the structure of your content, I was a bit drifted off because you started from somewhere and then you ended up somewhere else, and it was total confusion for me. All right, but then you did well. Okay, you did so well. Your delivery was on point, pronunciation was good, and then you had a good content. Thank you.
All too soon, this is where we draw the curtain for Voice of Tomorrow, and today happens to be the impact of social media on our mental health. And I believe that you have learned a thing or two, like how I have also learned a thing or two. See you next week, same time, on another topic, Cultural Diversity Forum. I can't wait to see you. See ya. Bye bye.